Welcome to the Yup Life podcast. 40,000 people are injured by toilets every year.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. As you can see, if for the people watching, if we look like we just kind of finished or we just had a lot to drink to begin with, don't mind the beers. We had a little technical difficulties to begin with.
Take two.
Yeah, take two. So one of the things we missed on our recording is that we forgot to introduce our important guest on this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris is back.
What's up?
Here for the second time, and he'll be helping out with our topic. You'll see what we're talking about. There you go. You'll see what we're talking about. And please enjoy the show. Joey?
We're out.
Wait, what?
Wait.
Cheers to joy.
No. Hold on, no.
Well, thanks for having me, guys, honestly.
Oh, wait. It's going to be... Joey, roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
And then it starts.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Up Life podcast. Did you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Cider beers. Oh, man. Here. Just explain what happened to you.
Yeah, screw it.
Fuck it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our... If you guys are listening, thanks for tuning in.
If they're listening, like they're not going to be listening.
Let me back that up. Thanks for listening, tuning in. We had some technical difficulties right now. We usually start off opening beers, but we are on our second try. We had the computer kind of crash out on us, but we're here.
Yeah. Franz Scanner Weiss beer.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know. It's from Munich. It's imported.
That's the beer we're drinking.
It abides by the Bavarian purity law.
Who enforces those laws, guys?
Cheers.
Cheers. Just a quick,
This is like the most
just a quick
awkward intro.
recap.
Episode 15. Hey, movies don't shoot on the first take anyways, right?
There you go.
Imagine if we're trying to do this live. Just cut out.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
So where were we?
Man, the World Cup. We just talked about
We
the World
talked about
Cup.
the World
God.
Cup.
Oh, dude.
That's why we explain it.
Right now we're drinking German beer because Joey's team got kicked out of the World Olympics.
My team. The World Olympics again.
Gosh, dude.
The World Olympics.
World Cup.
Just shows you how big it is over here in the States.
Soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys keep calling it football.
Rest in peace, Germany.
Yeah, so we're honoring Germany's failure with beer, their beer.
So when Mexico loses to Brazil, we'll drink some Dos Equis.
Yeah.
No, very nice.
Or some other stuff.
They don't have to lose.
We'll
It's
figure
just being funny.
Who's in there? I actually have no idea. Who's left?
There's 16 teams.
16. Okay, that's too much to label.
Do we have one more group left?
No, the games today were the last ones.
Oh, the last ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a good idea of who's still in it.
Did England win?
No.
They lost
no?
today, but they're still in it.
They're in the.
Oh, what?
They're in the
Okay.
groups.
Yeah.
Out of the groups, but
Gotcha.
Top two teams in each group advance.
that group was Belgium and England, and the other two had no wins. It was
Right.
like
Panama and...
Couldn't tell you. No idea.
I don't know. Yeah.
What's TUN?
Tunisia.
Oh, yeah.
That's
it.
who it was.
There it is.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is.
I don't know.
I threw a dart, and I'd be closer on the map than I could guess.
Dude, like, that is so weird to me because Tunisia, I don't know where it is.
Mhm.
Like, what's the population of that country?
Is it in Africa
Maybe.
or South America? I have no idea.
All right, it's somewhere. But
Yeah.
my point is like, I'm sure they have a very small population. I'm just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
They could get into the World Cup, but the United States can't get into the World Cup.
That is true.
Like, I'm sure we have more soccer players in this country than they have people in their country.
Because we care about more.
Do you really think so?
It has to be, dude. Like, look it up.
'Cause
What's the
Look it
population?
up. Yeah, I think that's true, though.
We care about real sports.
Dang.
Wow.
I hear you.
Dang. No disclaimer?
Come at me.
Prove me wrong.
Come at me.
It is Africa, like Northern Africa.
Okay.
Shit.
And
Population?
Do you hear that?
It's the
11 million,
It's the same.
Oh, okay.
300,000.
I'm sure we got like 11 million soccer players in this country,
That makes sense.
right?
There's like 10 at my high school.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. 10 million.
I used to play soccer when I was little, but I was not coordinated enough.
Dude, I was never signed up for like junior leagues and soccer and nothing like that. Just baseball off the bat.
Same, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I played PE soccer.
Yeah.
And then when I visited my relatives in Mexico, that's about it.
So let's do the yuppies thing again.
Oh, God. All right, act like we don't know what each other just said.
I wasn't paying attention, so this will be new to me.
Okay.
Steven had a birthday.
I had a birthday on Monday.
Woo, happy birthday.
Thank you. So, went out
Acting.
to dinner with my family. Me and my girlfriend got there really early, right? So we started getting sangrias and went pretty ham on them. Got 2 pitchers, got really, really drunk in front of my family.
Nice.
And yeah.
It's your birthday. You can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
Can't blame you for that.
Yeah. Except I had work the next day and it was pretty rough.
They can't tell if you're napping or praying.
No,
right?
but they saw me like drinking Pedialyte and just being horrible. Probably smelled like beer still or alcohol.
When you sweat.
Yeah. You know I sweat like crazy too. All right, second person.
I'll go. So I think for the first time ever, I ordered pizza delivery.
What?
Which I always go to pick it up because I'm like, why pay the extra $6-7 to get a delivery and a tip, right?
Dude,
But
that's amazing to me. Still.
We went to the Salt River to go tubing for your birthday, and I had the drunchies, and I was getting a ride back home, and I was like ordering on my phone pizza, so it'd be delivered like pretty much right when we got back to the house.
Was that during when I got lost? And
No, that was after.
okay.
That was after.
By the way, thanks guys. I feel like we should all just driven back together.
Well, I went to go drop off the other people, and then
I was already gone.
I kind of was being. I was driving the G37, so I could care less.
Gotcha.
I was like,
We were
open road.
Chris and I were stranded on the curb waiting for someone to pick us up. So
God.
Wait, what?
yeah, we were waiting for you guys to come pick us up at the bottom of the river.
Did you just leave everybody?
That Steven got in the car and he was like, "Let's just go." I was like, "Okay."
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
We were there for probably half an hour.
It seemed like a long time.
Yeah, we had 3 beers or
Yes.
2.
Well, kind of
We were sharing them, but yeah, like we were there for a while, and
we
then
were
like,
low on beer at the time. We don't usually share beers.
and then you didn't show up when the other person did, so we're like
Yeah.
waiting there even longer for you to show up.
I felt really, really bad.
And then so we started driving around trying to find you, and we saw your truck pull out, and you're going through the main parking lot, and you kept going past like the main parking lot. We're like, why didn't you just stop here? And you just kept going down a road that I didn't even know where it was going. We chased you down. And then you pull over behind a cop that's pulled someone else over. The worst place you could ever stop.
It's all good, man.
But we made it.
Yeah,
It's never a good river trip if you don't have a story.
that is true.
It's true.
We almost didn't have a story.
Yeah, until the very end. Huh?
Yeah.
On top of that, the only thing that burnt on me was my ankles. So, just know that.
Spray your ankles.
No, I just should have. Okay.
You got to get burnt somehow.
Yeah. Third person for yuppiest?
Dude, like, I don't even know what I did that was so yuppie in the past couple weeks.
I thought you were looking to buy a new car.
I guess so. Yeah, I've been kind of searching, pricing out some new cars. So
New?
I'm thinking new. This
Are you-
might be my very first new, brand new, like less than 100 miles on it. Like, I think it's about time. I'm looking at a 4Runner. Nice. It's gonna be fun.
You're looking at one too, yeah?
Now?
Yeah.
No.
Oh no, you could. You,
I bought a
okay,
truck.
that's true. Well, that's one of the pretty yuppie things you did.
Me or him?
Well, you bought a truck.
I pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince Chris to start.
Fuck, dude. Lay it on me straight.
He's like, I'm gonna wait a couple months. I'm like, why? You'll just pay it off sooner, right?
I hear you. I want that like pretty good down payment.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it.
Take you camping for the first time
Right.
ever.
I want to do like the camp, like outdoor camping in a tent. Never done that in my life.
I think that's the only way you go camping.
You got it.
I mean, there's glamping.
Well, yeah.
But
What is glamping?
like an RV, like
okay.
glamorous camping.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like in my mind, I was counting as going to a cabin as camping.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
especially one that has running water and like central heating.
The one day we went there was no heat.
Oh, yeah.
There's no electricity.
Electricity,
So that
yeah.
was roughing it for sure.
Hey, we had a grill, so we could at least eat. And it was cool outside, so like the food stayed all right.
For the people listening, a while back, we went up to a cabin and a tree fell on a power line.
And no one heard it.
Yeah. So we were out without power.
We're like, why is there no electricity? What's going on here?
Right.
And we call up the APS, whatever. They're like, here's your problem. And this tree took the whole wire down.
I got the next day, right?
I think I don't remember.
I don't know. It was fixed.
And we're like, why isn't the internet working after they fixed the power line?
Yeah.
Obviously, it took that down too.
Yep.
Why isn't the internet working in the forest?
God, it's so rough.
It's a great time we live in.
Yeah.
So I recently took a trip up to Colorado.
Did you hit the ground?
I was a mile high. Denver.
High?
Mile,
How high?
Mile high. Is it the Mile High City? Yeah, Denver. And it was fun. Went Salt River tubing. Salt River.
Gosh, dude.
Dude, that must have been a long river.
White water rafting.
We went whitewater rafting on the river.
Oh,
There was some white caps on the tube trip.
but the most interesting thing is the Denver airport. That was the most interesting part of the whole trip. Ask me why.
You're
Someone
so
asked me
fascinated by it. Why?
why. Thanks for asking why. I'll tell you why. If you guys have you guys ever watched when you watch the football game, American football, you'll see that
Like NFL?
Yes.
Oh.
The real football?
the real football.
Hand egg? Hand egg?
If you ever watch like a Denver Broncos game, sometimes they'll show the Denver airport and they'll show the iconic demon horse.
Right.
The
Oh, yeah.
The blue.
Okay.
Now that's at the airport. The airport's some creepy ass shit.
How far away is the airport from the stadium?
It's like
Good question.
It's like 20 miles. It's not really, but if you look
So
on the
it's
map,
really on the outskirts
it's
of town.
it's legit on the outskirts of town. It's like 30 minutes outside of town.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that the only airport you get to Denver?
I think so. Like that's
yeah.
So
That's,
you have to. Okay.
Yeah. There's another airport in Colorado Springs, but that's like an hour drive
Yeah.
south.
So what are we getting at here?
Well, let me tell you. So one of the things that's very, very interesting is that there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in that place.
Ooh.
Like kinky stuff?
Like it could be,
Guy on
No.
guy?
could be,
Girl on girl?
could be,
I like it.
Shitting on each other?
sitting on each other.
could be.
CJs?
There's a lot of.
What's a CJ?
There's a lot of.
Gotta ask you can. Wait, if you can't afford it, I don't know.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
There you go. All right, sorry.
No, it's
Ruben.
good.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories there. Why? Conspiracy theories.
Dun dun dun. What is this episode about, Ruben?
Conspiracy theories.
yes.
We thought we'd have a little fun. Some of the stuff is pretty interesting.
I'm going to be
So-
honest. I don't follow them. So I'll be here to be devil's advocate.
Oh yeah,
Oh, speaking of devil's advocate, let me add that to the list.
You know, like
the devil's advocate.
No,
The bar?
so going back to that Denver airport, you brought up that demon horse.
Yeah.
Did you know
Go ahead.
the sculptor of that demon horse was killed by that demon horse?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yep.
And he finished it from his grave?
Something happened.
How does this
I
work?
think it fell on him, or
Correct.
some part of it fell on him, severed an artery, and he died.
What?
Yeah. So the airport started off doomed, and I think they just kept it going.
I like that.
It's nuts. Like, did you have a chance to walk around it?
The horse?
Well, like back to the horse. Like I hear it's like in the middle of the runways. Like it's outside.
It's not-
kinda
no, it's-
isolated.
It's not necessarily in the middle of the runways. It's like when you're driving through freeways to get in there, it crosses in between the in and out freeways to
Okay.
get into the airport, and it's like right there, and it's huge.
I hear it's pretty big.
It's you can see it from far away, and you're like, oh crap, that
Really?
thing's monstrous. And it's got those demon eyes all red and everything. It's so creepy. But the Denver airport, I didn't know there was a bunch of like conspiracy theories until recently. A while back, a friend was like, "Have you ever heard about these?" I was like, "Wait, what?" And I started reading about all the conspiracy theories. I was like, "Holy crap!" Like it's a lot of weird stuff that goes on there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I read was like, there's a mural in one of the buildings or something like that. I haven't seen it personally, but it's like it has kind of like Nazis and stuff like that on it, or apparently, yeah.
Not like actual Nazis or like
Yeah.
symbols
It's like symbols and
some peeps.
Like it's like a big mural, and I hear like there's like a stormtrooper on the front of it,
Okay.
like in a gas mask, and there's like
Supposed to be?
children.
It's
and
supposed to be a stormtrooper.
it's very similar to how one would look.
Okay.
And like there's children outside of a burning building,
Holy.
and like the guy's holding a gun. Like there are some definite, like what I think maybe some Nazi undertones that
Yeah.
like these different murals have, and it's just like whoever designed this airport, like you would never design a public area to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like especially nowadays.
Yeah, that's really weird. And like, how come this isn't like mainstream, especially with everybody being like really, I guess, like sensitive? Why isn't this
Right? It's
like something big?
It's art, dude. You can't touch art.
Ooh, that's true.
Murals painted in the baggage claim area have been claimed to contain themes referring to future military oppression and a one world government.
Oh wow.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, dude. What?
I'll pop that up on the
On thing?
video
Yeah.
when it's up. Can I see it?
oh, yep, sorry, Joy.
That's a home screen. That's a naked woman. What in the world?
Yeah, that's so crazy. Do you see the little kids like underneath his sword or whatever?
Yeah.
And the rainbow? The rainbow in the background?
You got to, like equalize it somehow.
Good and evil.
Yep.
Now, one other thing that a lot of people say is that a lot of the way you get from different terminals or whatever, there's underground trains.
Okay.
The train system.
Yeah.
A lot of
The
people.
tube?
Yeah, the tube. A lot of people speculate they keep on going, and there's a lot more that leads to them. Also, I don't know how true this one is. I mean, I don't know how true any of this is. It's apparently like $1 billion over budget or something ridiculous amount.
I looked it up. $2 billion over budget.
Holy.
and no one can explain why.
Like, where did that money went?
Yeah, yeah.
Where it come from?
Yeah.
So-
That is true.
All right.
What is your theory that it went to?
Me personally, I don't.
Someone just stole it?
I don't know. I really have no idea because
Let's just a guess.
I mean, that demon horse ain't cheap.
no
Like, do you think they just packed the walls with
cash.
guns and ammo or something, or like?
Like we're doing conspiracy theories for like a reason. Like it's a theory.
Yes.
It's the idea.
So I guess maybe
Throw it out.
my theory about it is it could just be a fallout shelter for like the elite class.
I've heard that.
So like when
one.
you say those trains keep going, they might go to like fallout shelters that this facility was just built for.
And they use that money to stock
build-
to stock
to
the shelters.
to like
Yeah.
build those underground shelters because I'm sure that shit ain't cheap.
Mhm.
So
What was
like,
that movie where they had the 4 arcs and the world's ending? It was like 2012 or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
2012 I think. You're
And it's like all the elite people got tickets on there,
Right.
And all the peasants were trying to jump onto it as it was leaving, and something like that.
That's what I think. Like you can't like you guys are engineers and you have your budgetary like guidelines that you have to hit and you can't really go over. Would your boss allow you to go $2 billion over budget?
Yeah, no.
Especially since I do work for government.
Right.
Usually, it's like they are sticklers on every dollar.
Right. So like that's just weird to me.
The one thing
Is it government owned or is it?
that's I don't know.
Well, it's like a Denver International Airport. Like, wouldn't that be like a
Oh.
public municipality type of thing? I'm not sure.
One thing is, I mean,
City and County of Denver Department of Aviation is the owner.
Then yes.
one thing you need a lot of people to build that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How's not someone said anything? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, if there was something weird, like,
Someone would have had to say something.
oh no, I signed an NDA.
Yeah. My
Something
sources
like that.
say
Hell, dude, like if someone threatens your life to say like you don't say anything, you might follow that.
I feel like people would still like travel, like leave the country and say something. But how many disappearances were like around the same time?
Oh, I have no
Some
idea.
people get killed.
Well, if you don't know who's building it, you don't know who disappeared.
True. And boom. And you can also start it on like the opposite end and be like, hey, we're building like a subway station.
Right.
Just start building it going this way, and then you finish it going the other like opposite way.
But the thing is, like, the airport is so far on the outskirts of
Yeah,
town.
that's the weirdest part.
It's just like, why would you build? Like, I understand like building towards town, but
Yeah.
maybe it's building the other way, or it just goes deeper into the bedrock or whatever.
Right.
So you just don't know. Like, $2 billion over budget. Like, something's going on.
Yeah,
That's so much money.
Yeah.
You
one-
can build a couple airports with that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
the one thing I'm curious about is like, how true is that $2 billion? That like
Right.
Yeah, where
Everyone's
did
keeping track of that.
Where did that come from? And
Yeah,
Right.
that's only one of the things. But it is very interesting. Like, I remember when I was reading all that stuff about the Denver airport. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
All right.
I felt weird when I was, because I was there reading it. I was like looking over my shoulder, like, oh god.
There may be a reason why we never found Area 51.
Could be.
Oh, Area 51.
It's another one.
Ooh. Well, is that one of our topics?
It could be.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, maybe it's not in Nevada.
Right. Do we know where it is?
I think it's, yeah. I think if you type in Google Maps, it'll
It'll
point
come
you-
up?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I don't know.
It's like Google Maps.
I think the location is declassified, but
What goes on there?
is classified.
So the airport before Denver International was Denver's Stapleton International Airport, and they built Denver International even though this one was perfectly capable.
Right.
So why would you build another airport when you already have a good one that's has it? Denver International had even fewer runways than this other one.
Damn.
What?
So yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's odd.
It's like we have Sky Harbor in Phoenix.
Yeah.
They just built another international airport,
Like over it.
like half an hour outside the city,
Yeah.
just because they want to replace it.
That's crazy.
What's
There
the
has
point?
to be like that dual purpose for it. Has to.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know.
There's no other reason to do something like that. That's scary, guys.
one of us needs to go start working there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To start feeding information to
Yeah.
the other people.
We gotta learn Morse code. We're gonna
Oh,
start
God.
transmitting information back and forth.
Oh God.
But when you get on the topic of conspiracy theories, I definitely think there's like different tiers of these theories.
How deep
Like-
you go down the wormhole, or
Like how deep you go, but like kind of what I'm getting on about is like how crazy of a theory are you talking here? Like
Okay.
you could be like Alex Jones crazy that like there's interdimensional aliens like doing some crazy shit or whatever. But like there's like historical conspiracy theories like what governments have done through history.
Illuminati.
Like yeah, and then
Illuminati's a big
you
one.
got those.
that's just as hard to prove because there's no backup for it.
Yeah.
There's no internet. There's no recordings. There's no.
right. So like
videos,
people did they
pictures.
look back and like they'll go, oh, what about this? And like
Yeah.
boom, you got a conspiracy theory right there.
Mhm.
So like I like I'm one of those people that just I'll jump on Netflix, I'll watch a documentary on like ancient aliens. I don't know, you use that as a conspiracy theory or some other topics like the Denver airport one. That's like a popular one. It's just like how crazy are you? Like some are funny, like oh Michelle Obama's a man, like conspiracy theory, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like there are some really crazy ones, like again like Alex Jones going on about like different interdimensional aliens in contact with us, and I don't know.
I do like the fact that some of these they do kind of make you think. Just
Right.
like
Yes.
I mean, you believe it or like not, whatever. Like it kind of makes you stop and think a little bit. Like, oh, huh, just a little. It's a little odd.
Right.
Yeah, those are the only ones that, like I would even have interest looking into. Like something that has some backup to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one that has like a realistic, reason as to why that is.
But
Yeah.
then is it called a conspiracy theory anymore at that
Well, you
point?
just may not know like the true answer
so.
to something.
Right.
Like okay, I'll start it off. Like I like the historical ones, especially ones that pertain to like the U.S. government. Like that stuff really interests me.
like
And-
9/11.
Like late 9/11, but like going back, further in time on that one. Like after World War II, General Patton, we had victory in Europe, right? And he wanted to keep troops there in Europe and turn his forces onto Russia. Like, we're already here. Let's confront them and have a war with Russia. After World War II, General Patton, he's still in Europe. I think it was like a U.S. Army truck, did a head-on collision with his car. He was in the hospital recovering, and there's like stories of him like joking around with the nurses, in good health. One day, the next day he's dead.
What?
Right.
No like rhyme or reason.
No rhyme or reason.
No explanation.
Exactly. No explanation. So, like, you kind of have to think like why you got like a highly decorated officer.
Mm-hmm.
He led victory over the Nazis, and he had this idea of going against Russia and just like ending that conflict, because there was conflict between the United States and Russia at that time.
Right.
So why was he killed, or like why did he die? So this turns into a conspiracy theory, like what led up to these events.
Right.
And I would just dive into it. So like the president at the time, well, not at the time, but like before Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, he was kind of like followed by Mussolini, and Mussolini, like they had like the socialist governments at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of like, oh, FDR, yeah, he's a socialist. So like FDR was like into socialism, maybe communism, like that. Because I don't know if you know about FDR. He's like proposing like the New Deal for the United States, like very public programs, socialist, communistic programs. Society fund each other.
So you think he had some ties with
He
Russia?
had maybe some ties with Russia. And Truman, his vice president, because FDR passed away.
Right.
So Truman is now the president. He had the same kind of ideologue as that. So you wouldn't want Patton to go into war with someone that you're kind of like buddy with, right?
Right.
So maybe the U.S. government had something to do with Patton's death.
Put a hit on him.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
Like it's just like that. That's just one theory that's been thrown out there.
Yeah.
Like he was poisoned either by the Russians in conjunction with the United States.
There was never like an autopsy or cause of death or.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's again like it's back in that time where like what conclusive evidence can you gather from this?
Right.
Something that's overseas, something like happened to this guy that had this idea of just ending this. Because the Cold War was practically right after World War II.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And just trying to bring it up, like just to today. Not that we know of us, our country wise, but like if you go look at Russia now, I mean all those news reporters that somehow end up dying when they say something about
Russia's very hush hush.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's I don't know if that. I guess is that considered a conspiracy theory or?
Yeah, it's a conspiracy.
It could be.
It's a conspiracy
Or a theory.
Or blaming that it's Putin.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to do that because
He's a straight up thug, dude.
Oh, big time.
He's a gangster. Yeah.
But it's definitely possible. Like, that's
well,
not.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all the U.S. troops in Europe at that time loved Patton. They would follow this man to hell. It's like, why not? They're already there. Russia's in a bad turmoil right now. Like, he just wanted to turn his forces onto Russia, and then he just got stopped. Like, he got killed.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't put that past like the U.S. government because there's a document that got released. I forgot what it was, but it showed that the U.S. government planned on killing U.S. citizens to rile people up to go to war.
Right.
So like,
Wait, what?
Yeah. And that's a real document. It's like it's an actual thing. If you listen to Joe Rogan, he talks about it all the time.
Yeah, it's a general question, but you see countries like Russia and North Korea that kill people on a whim.
Right.
What makes you think that our country is any different from them?
Correct.
Like, why are we so different and special?
Yeah.
Ooh. I never thought about it that way, but
Yeah,
that's
like,
good. That's
We're not
And
we're putting us on a pedestal. Like we're not.
Right.
Right. And maybe don't even break it up by country. Is there just this one global government
Organization.
one global organization that
God.
controls all this?
What do you call that?
NATO.
Correct.
Thank you.
Oh god, that is hilarious.
That's what a lot of the stuff in Denver International is like. They're trying to cite things that this one world government or this like new world order thing.
Have you
going
been
on.
looking into that right
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Just kind of glancing over it. Like there's little like inscriptions or like the painting of that dude.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
For anyone that's listening and was curious about those pictures, just Google Denver International Airport mural, and you'll be able to see them right away on Google Images.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know. I think maybe there's like this higher group, like this higher power. I'm not talking like God, like this higher ruling class that has so much say in anything, and like whatever they say kind of goes. And like what we see, there's a facade. Like we can't see what's going on behind the scenes.
So you're basically explaining the Rothschild family.
Yeah.
Have you heard about
Or
that?
the Illuminati,
Yeah.
Right.
Rothschild's family,
Have you heard about that?
the Freemasons.
Not the
Yeah, the Freemasons.
family.
The
one.
Freemasons, they
Or
said,
Freemasons.
constructed the Denver airport.
Yeah, that's.
Did they-
There's like a inscription
Right.
somewhere that said that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seriously lost.
Okay.
So the Rothschilds is like this.
and then Freemasons.
And then I'll explain Illuminati.
Allegedly, this really wealthy family, like insanely wealthy, like they have their hands in everything, so that they have so much control that they can manipulate governments, and
Is it a British family?
they're Jewish descendants.
Okay, never mind. I remember seeing a British family.
They are. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they're German.
German descent.
Yeah, I think they're German descent.
Like you might be thinking just like of the monarchy. And
Probably. Long live the Queen. Or I don't know what they do. Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
So that's what's the family?
Rothschild.
Rothschild.
Dude, they have like a third of the world's wealth or some ridiculous like that.
something crazy.
And they're the people that are of that family. They're still around. I mean, obviously, they're known people though, right? It's not like they're hiding or anything. It's
Right.
not like
Technically,
Like I haven't seen one walking down the street, but
Yeah.
Next question: Freemasons. What's that? I have never heard of that one.
Was that your thing that you're gonna explain?
well, like I guess so.
You said
I'll do my best. Like I really don't know exactly who they are. Correct me. I don't know if you're looking it up, Joey. This is what I think they are. So when you had this group of people coming over from Europe into the United States, I think it was this group of people that just joined up together. We are the Freemasons, like Masons.
Fraternal organization.
Right.
Fraternity.
So, but not are they legit masonries? Like
Well, like if you look at masonries, like that is a profession that a lot of men have, like a group that they get together, they discuss like back in the day, the job to have was to be a masonry.
okay.
And I think they just got a group together. These are obviously highly educated people, and I think whatever they said kind of went.
But it's very culty, and you meet in these like lodges, and they have rituals and stuff,
Right.
Oh, whoa.
like handshakes and ceremonies. And I think you have to have a certain percent of a bloodline to be considered one of these people.
That's
I'm not sure
No.
what the whole history is, but
Like I was kind of like thinking like, yeah, I thought the Freemasons kind of started when the United States was kind of forming. I don't know if that's something you could look up. Jamie, pull it up.
I know, right?
apparently George Washington
Right.
was a Freemason.
Part of one.
Dude. He's really quick too. Jamie on Joe Rogan's
Oh, yeah.
podcast, he pulls it up so fast.
It's like he knows what they're going to be talking about,
Yeah.
and he just searches stuff and has it ready.
What are you trying to say?
You'll get there. I don't know.
That's it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you guys actually believe there's any kind of higher power? Not God power, but like higher class of people that
I think so.
are
I-
puppet masters of society?
Oh man.
I kind of want to say yes. I kind of want to say yes.
But they have so much control that it actually affects your daily life.
Not that extent.
Oh, maybe.
No, I feel like
Well-
it is, and I feel like it's at the point where it affects your daily life, and they're not at the point where they could control everything yet.
Can you explain like what it would do that would affect your life, or what they could do?
So
Just like curious, what
Just-
do you think?
okay,
Like your gas prices? I mean, I don't know.
yeah. For
That sounds reasonable.
I'm
right
just
there.
spitballing
I
here,
would
but
know.
yeah, for me, I feel like it'll be like gas prices, certain deaths.
I mean directly affecting your daily life.
Like him as an individual.
Like you specifically, like at your job, your hobbies, your relationships, whatever.
Well,
Like if some,
I feel like it trickles down. Like
If some-
literally, if they make a move, it won't affect me
right.
today.
That's what I meant. Like,
But I feel like even the president of the United States could be a factor from the Illuminati.
right.
You know, what I mean? Or from whoever.
like are these like hand-picked candidates that are always running?
For like political
Like,
office.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know.
Like they
Who
could
knows?
be. You never know. Well, I think like what could affect you as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they have their hands deep into like economic powers.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
So if they need a crisis to happen to like just make something their way,
Start a war.
They could start a war.
Yeah.
You know, there could be a recession. They have the power. Like there are very powerful families that kind of control like banking industries.
So do you think money rules all
It definitely has a
in this?
I think so.
big
In this day and
contributing
age?
factor. Yeah.
I think so.
There is a. I really wish I could figure out what the guy's name. On 98 KUPD, this was like last year. They had someone on there. I think he was a comedian, but he was this guy. I can't for the life of me know what his name is. I spaced out on it. He was like a police officer or a firefighter, like well-rounded American, like now doing comedy. But he was saying on when he was talking to John Holmberg of 98 KPD, he was saying like, he's like, yeah, I had people approach me. They wanted me to run for political office. And he was like, wait, really? He was like, yeah. And like, why did they choose? Or Holmberg was like, oh, that makes sense because you're very American, well-spoken, blah, blah, on and on. And like, yeah, but it was like, I didn't feel right about it because it was like people that came with money and they wanted to,
Oh yeah.
they wanted to use, you know, he kind of like, they wanted to,
Twist his arm.
yeah. And he was like, I wasn't into it. But, it sounds like, we're talking about like, influence.
Every man has a price.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Mine's $2.
I think if you look at it, back in the day before, you have the internet and kind of people are on like this steady technological level, you had these powerful families back in the day that kind of ruled over all this land and had, the public work their land. So when you have this group of people that have power, they're not going to want to let go of the power. So through the years, I'm sure they're going to gain, they're going to get more and more powerful. So like nowadays, like it's just way advanced now. Like they can control any aspect of our society
From their desk at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like even just moving CEOs, getting
Yeah.
this person promoted, killing the celebrity.
Right.
It could be as simple as that.
It's
yeah.
crazy. I just think that there's like a higher power that kind of, like we're just pawns on a chessboard. We're just being moved.
Yeah, that's like I can agree with that, but I just don't see how it affects my life or how it could
Yeah.
in a major way that it really matters. So I don't really care, I guess is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I just feel like the reason why I would care is because, again, all conspiracy, but like they could be responsible for like mass deaths, and we could be one of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that, and then it would definitely affect us. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be like Steven is going to move over here, and he's going to do this for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some paranoid people out there. Very, very paranoid.
We always joke about tinfoil hats, but
Yeah, like
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Dude, I have an example of that. So when, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. When I worked at Best Buy, somebody, it'll be quick. When
You're good, you're good.
somebody came in and wanted a laptop without a camera.
You told us this.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, this doesn't exist.
It's not a yeah.
And he was scared of people watching.
You've seen
sorry.
that?
No, you-
You've seen that picture of Mark Zuckerberg where he's sitting in front of his laptop looking at the camera, and he's got a piece of tape over his webcam
no,
on his
really?
laptop. Yeah.
That's funny. Sorry, Ruben.
No, you're
that,
good.
that could be something that affects you personally. Like they're constantly listening to you.
Oh yeah.
And like, dude, I just want to put this disclaimer. Ruben, may I take that spotlight? Like,
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like, I just live my life day to day.
What are they gonna
This
do?
is just something that I just think about. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like, people who think the webcams are constantly watching you. Okay, you got now all these
smart home
Alexas.
devices. Yeah.
Are they listening
All
to
these
you now?
Alexas.
Well, like these are things that are put into people's homes. Is it maybe part of a plan? Like they're constantly just listening to us.
How many people do you have to employ to monitor all of this, though?
Dude, it's an algorithm.
We just yeah, right. But like, we're not important enough for them to be listening to us. Like Mark Zuckerberg, yeah, maybe he should cover his webcam because he's a high profile.
Hold on, back up.
Robot.
Triggered. Ruben's triggered.
We're not important enough. They better be listening to this podcast. That's it.
I meant that. I meant it as a personal thing. I was talking about myself. But no, it's. I don't know. It's like you got like I know some people think that way, and yeah, I have that thought, but in actuality, I'm kind of with you. What's the manpower that would
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
And if they were doing shady shit, who said it before? But wouldn't someone come out and talk about it, like Snowden or whatever? You don't think everyone would just keep their mouths shut and fall in line?
I feel like there's been so many deaths though, when people do open their mouth, that like it's scary.
like if someone told you like don't say a word, I'll kill you.
I mean, it depends who it was, I guess.
Oh yeah, but the U.S. government.
Oh yeah, the government probably.
Yeah.
But if I was like one of masses, I don't know. Blow that whistle and run to Russia.
Yeah, if you want to live in Russia.
Wasn't there some guy? Man, it was on Joe Rogan too, but he blew the whistle of like $3 trillion gone missing, and the very next day he ran into a tree, right? But he like in his car, but he didn't apply the brakes at all. So like they could kill you at any point, any fucking way they want.
Especially with all these self-driving cars coming up. They malfunctioned.
Yeah. Oops.
It's just crazy. But again, like I like the historical conspiracy theories.
There's I don't know how true it is. There's a theory that
Never heard of it.
Roosevelt knew about
Which
FDR?
one? Which one?
FDR knew about the attack
Pearl
on
Harbor?
Yeah, beforehand.
Oh yeah.
And he just like allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
So like there's like an uprising, like, yeah, we're joining into World War II.
There's
Right. Like that's one.
That could be a very big one.
that's
yeah,
a-
I heard
that's a
like there
huge
wasn't
one.
enough time to do anything, or like if we started scrambling things, we'd have more people compacted into one area.
Right.
Like, there's always counter arguments.
And they're saying like we had a lot of our aircraft carriers in Pearl Harbor, and right before the attack happened, they moved them out. So they just
That's funny. The main ones.
yeah, like
ones
our
that we
most
need.
important
Yeah.
ships were moved out of the harbor just so they weren't there during the attack, and we kind of knew about it. I don't know.
Yeah, that one's a.
How do you guys?
Was it a strategic move or I don't know? It's
Strategic, but you know,
yeah.
Bro, they were training.
when you're a country not in war, like why are you making this military, operation?
Yeah.
Like why can't you just have them parked there?
I think what I heard was that they're out training, doing a training thing.
Well, this is an aircraft carrier, and there are
But
multiple
yeah,
of
like
them, dude.
how you gonna move those?
Right.
Well, like Iron Man, before he was trying to say that it was a training exercise, and then Tony Stark was like, "You know what? I am Iron Man." It's the same thing.
Riveting, bro.
It's the same thing. Same thing.
I felt like I was watching the movie. Too.
Yeah, dude, I acted just like Robert Downey Jr. Didn't I?
For sure.
Yeah. Similarities. What were you gonna say, Joey?
I'm gonna change the subject. How do you guys feel about chemtrails? There's an answer. There's an answer. Just laughing at it.
I actually don't know too much about them.
It's the theory that the government is dumping chemicals to induce population control, I believe.
Yeah, it's to like make people sick for a couple different reasons. It's pharmaceutical companies could also pay for this, so that you have to get their medicine.
Right.
You could also, I guess, kind of control people's moods with chemicals. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie The Cabin.
Maybe.
What? It's a dope movie. Like, group of friends go over to a cabin. They inject like chemicals, and they act how they want them to act.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So like, at the end of the movie, I don't know, people die, but it's a really good movie. You should watch it. Thor's in it.
Oh. So, do you guys think it's real? Do you think it's bullshit?
I think it's bullshit. Like, Are those pretty potent chemicals? Because you see the chemtrails.
Supposedly,
The exhaust
You
fumes?
see the clouds behind the planes.
supposedly toxic mix of aluminum, strontium, and barium.
I don't know.
No idea. The amount of chemicals they'd have to dump in the atmosphere
That's what I'm
to
saying.
actually affect people,
Exactly.
Pretty crazy.
and the science behind like contrails actually being real, like the condensation at in the atmosphere up there. Like, I don't know. Seems clear as day.
Yeah, there's scientifically there's pretty a lot of evidence.
But
to
there's been
disprove it.
like quote unquote pictures of these big tanks inside of like jetliners. But people have been like, oh no, they're just used for weight to simulate passengers and stuff, and like because they're full of like a liquid, and they just fill them with water to weigh the plane down. But people are like, oh no, there's chemicals, and they're dumping those chemicals out. So I don't know.
It's a little, yeah.
It's a little far fetched, I know.
It's
I think so.
Far-fetched.
Like the potency of that's got to be crazy high.
But like
if it were to take effect.
so on the other end of that though, isn't there's a way that you could make it rain? There's a way that you
Iodine,
can
right?
make it
Iodine?
like, and I think it might be
Yeah,
something like that. But like,
Make it rain chemicals or just make it rain in
Make it
general?
rain.
just make it rain in general.
If you're rich.
And I mean, that's a possibility, and that's a huge like area where you do that at. So I mean, why isn't it a possibility that you can have chemtrails?
Yeah, back in the day, I think it was iodine. They would dump iodine in the sky. They'll get like one of those crop dusters, fly up, and then release some iodine, and it somehow, I don't know the science behind it, but it would create a storm, and it would start raining on your crops. However, there was some traces of, I believe there were some traces of chemicals. The
Yeah.
iodine, like, it did affect the crops. I forgot how. I think nothing positive, but it did affect the crops.
Speaking of crops, it's not really,
Crop dusting?
I guess it is kind of a conspiracy theory, but GMOs, they get such a bad rap, and they're not bad.
What are GMOs?
Genetically modified organics?
I think it's
so.
organisms. No, I don't know. Organics. It might be organic.
I am totally down for that stuff.
Oh, you're all about GMOs, bro?
Well, genetically modified, like, I think that's so cool.
Organism. It is organism.
Okay.
So they'll genetically modify crops or plants to,
Or animals.
do they?
Or
Well, like
I think-
chickens,
yeah.
enlarging like
Oh,
breasts
right.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I thought those are just the roids.
But like
some
to
GMOs.
resist like pests and like weeds and stuff. And it's not like they're like so similar in genetic makeup to the original plant that it's like not any different. But I feel like it's a huge marketing ploy that people market non-GMO foods, and they sell it for a higher price because it's non-GMO. And all it really is just a scam to sell organics and non-GMO foods and gluten-free and all this like stupid health stuff that they put gluten-free on stuff that would never have gluten in its life. Like, it's not anything special. So I feel like this whole new age food allergy and sensitivity is kind of like a conspiracy theory in itself.
I agree and disagree at the same time. I do think there is fads that is done for a reason, like
Some marketing ploy.
Yeah, like, dude, kale sales since like certain CrossFit videos came out is like exponential. But fuck, where was I going with this? There's a certain like chain, I think, of fatty acids that they use to preserve certain things, and that's a direct correlation with cancer within the body, though. And it's like a fuck, I can't, like, there's like a little chain of fat, right? And usually it's completed, so your body could just hook onto that and like digest it. This other one's not. So I think like you just can't digest it, and it's a direct correlation with cancer.
Kale?
It's not a kale. It's something that they use for preservatives. It's a lot in peanut butter.
Like MSG?
No,
I've heard MSG is like a
it's
really bad
something
one.
else. But MSG could be.
glutamate. Yeah.
I think it's like I don't remember.
But it's just stupid that now companies are marketing these foods as certain things that would already be obvious that it is that.
Yeah.
Like peanut butter is obviously gluten-free. You don't have to market it as gluten-free.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's tough.
what's the difference between an organic peanut and a not organic peanut?
I can't tell you.
And I don't know.
Like I went to the grocery store and you could get bananas for 25 cents a pound or something like that. But organic ones are $1 a pound.
Right.
Dude, while we're on bananas, did you know that all the bananas in the world are human made?
Now or like
Yeah, now.
since
Like they're all like farmed and
So the original banana, have you ever had like banana flavored candy?
like the runs?
Yes.
yeah.
Sure.
The original banana tasted just like that.
Wait, what?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's a.
I heard about
'cause
that.
They're originally grown in a certain area. There's like a famine that happened, or like a whatever bug.
Bananas went extinct.
Yeah, bananas went extinct, and we had to create a new one.
So they replicated the candy based on the old flavor of the banana.
Yes,
Because I never thought banana candy tastes like a banana.
Right.
exactly. Yeah,
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Really quick to go back a little bit. When we're talking about those, or yeah, I guess it still applies. Fake. No, not fake. I don't want to like
Fake
the
news?
word fake. Yeah, fake news. No,
Fake news.
do you guys remember the company called Theranos?
Oh yes, the testing.
Yeah, the blood testing. It was
No.
like some girl from Harvard dropped out, but then started this company, and she claimed that she developed a way to test your blood that can figure out if you have something that's like these 30 type of diseases right away within
Yep.
like 10 minutes, and it was a big breakthrough. I forgot whoever administrates drugs, I guess FDA.
FDA.
They went in and they started checking their testing. And it was like, your results are false. Like, these are not showing up right. And they kept digging in. And it's like, you guys are lying. This is not, what you're saying is not true. You guys just kind of threw out this product and said this is what's doing, but it's not really at all. Right. Sure enough, they got shut down completely, sued, and now nothing. They're completely gone. It's just kind of, it kind of is at a point that makes me think like some conspiracy theories are true, because like that one was, someone, I don't know if a conspiracy theory, I don't know if that's the right term, but
Phonies.
yeah, there we go.
Phonies is a big one.
Phonies.
But does every phony get sniffed out by the government or some other entity? You
I
never
don't
know.
think so. Yeah, if they make enough money. Nope.
Yeah.
Dude, I found it super crazy that like is Theranos?
Yeah, I just looked it up right now. It's Theranos.
Dude, they got like every single Walgreens had a Theranos, and all doctors recommended like, hey man, like we could do the blood test here. It's gonna cost you this much, but you could go do it at Theranos. And there's so many people that like did that. I know people close to me went to like go get a blood test done over there.
I never heard about that.
I've never heard
Really?
of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
this was huge.
It was
This was
huge.
a huge.
Talking like 90s or like
No, dude, like
with
recently.
This like past in
But
this
there are
decade.
no more?
Oh no, they're completely shut
Yeah.
down. It's yeah. This girl was like on Forbes like 30.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
She was like
30
So
30
she
under
had
30
like
slash
she had a blood test device or something.
Yeah, and apparently it was like a very easy like I don't know the whole background of it. Maybe like almost like a diabetes
Okay.
test. It's not much blood or anything like that. I could be wrong, but it was something that could figure out if you're sick and have anything within like
Right.
or within 30 diseases. If you have something, it would know right away.
You know how you do go do blood toxicologies or whatever? Like she just was able to do it cheaper and faster than everybody else.
It was like if it was it was a big medical breakthrough. It was definitely if it was real, but
phony.
yeah.
Phony.
I don't know. I just definitely think that there's like a higher power that's kind of like maybe limiting technology in a way. That like, if you look back in history, Rockefeller controlling all like the oil and all that stuff, and he kind of fronted, the auto industry to come up and to be what it is today, and now you kind of see this damper on like electric cars and stuff like that. And it's like, why can't we have this technology that is better for the environment, or doesn't need to be so dependent on oil, but we're so reliant on this one source of energy, and we just can't get away from it. Kind of, you have to think like, why is that?
Dude, that also reminds me of like the marijuana. How like a bunch of I guess pharmaceutical companies promote non-use of marijuana, and they fund all that. And it's because they want profits as well. Like, they could also hold back so many things. And supposedly there's been a cure for cancer since God knows when.
I don't know. I've heard like Alex Jones always saying. I think this was like when Alex Jones was on Joe Rogan.
Who is this guy? I don't really
Right?
know.
But like,
Who you guys are talking about? Who is this
oh,
guy?
Alex. Oh, you don't. I thought you were
my-
being like facetious.
No,
He's look him up, dude.
He's crazy.
He owns like this media company called InfoWars, and he has a show. It's like a podcast, and he's just all about conspiracy theories and like government overtaking.
I've probably seen him. Just
Yeah, you'll know him.
He takes some of the things. It's interesting, but then he takes a lot of things. Goes really far.
He goes really deep into things, and he's really, really passionate about what he says.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he looks familiar.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he lives in like Austin, Texas. He's like very libertarian, like no government, stuff like that. I don't know. He just goes off the.
He goes off.
But you still listen to him, or
He was.
I don't listen to him. I've only listened to him like on Joe Rogan.
It was,
That was one of the best podcasts.
It was actually
I've
really
heard on
good.
Joe Rogan.
Was it really?
it was
Oh,
really
I
did
good.
not watch it.
You need to check it out. It's really good.
It's almost 4 hours long. I highly recommend listening to a whole thing.
It's so crazy. It's off the walls, but it's actually it's entertaining. It's
Does
very-
Joe go ham on him though?
Yeah, it
they
goes
go
back
ham
and
on each
forth.
other.
Okay.
It's crazy.
It's
That's awesome.
now if we can only get you guys excited about our own podcast.
these are idols. We're always excited about idols.
There you go.
All right.
Bam.
So you want to model?
But
Bam.
what I was saying is Alex Jones says that our military is 50 years ahead of us. Like they have technology that's 50 years, advanced than what we have today.
I do believe that they're ahead of us.
So they have like
Us?
stuff that
Who's us?
U.S.
The general
government-
public?
The general.
Oh yeah, like our laptop is
Oh,
like
okay.
freaking rocks and paper.
Yeah.
Compared to what the U.S. military has or something.
Right.
This is what he's saying. Like he's saying, like, oh, they have a cure for cancer already, and like this stuff will just, be fed to the public over time, and maybe that's what shut that girl's company down. Like she's on the track of, being that outlier of what diseases are going to come, and maybe we weren't ready for that, and they just kind of shut it down.
They
That could be
very
interesting.
well
That
could have done that
That's
too.
very interesting. That's a
Yeah.
pharmaceuticals is definitely a big,
It is.
big, huge industry.
But an argument with the whole marijuana thing is if you actually look at these pharmaceutical companies, they have a lot of patents on what marijuana can cure. So if anyone were to profit off of this, it would be pharmaceuticals.
Interesting.
So, but why hasn't it? Like, why aren't they?
You could patent a cure,
you could patent like a drug.
right? But like you can't patent like, oh, if he gets cured from cancer because of marijuana, I get money.
You could. I think you could patent like because the chemical makeup of it.
Yeah.
If they use marijuana, if they formulate it in a way
Oh,
to
that
cure
chemical
something,
has it,
right?
Then okay,
All
right, I get it.
But like, let me raise this question up to you: if you created a cure for cancer, would you charge whatever you want for it?
yeah.
You would like screw everyone else. Like, I want $1 billion per
That's
pill.
what that one
Dude,
guy
you see
did.
EpiPens.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he did. Yeah.
Like, would you do that?
I couldn't. I've had family that had cancer. I just.
Oh, you're talking
it's-
about like a personal.
Right.
like it, I,
Like you
I-
found the cure for cancer. Would you sell it, or would you just like the guy who created penicillin? He didn't patent it, nothing. He just let it out there.
Didn't he like test it on himself?
I think so.
I would sell it, but for a reasonable price.
Yeah.
You would follow the market trends, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna sell a lot of a pill that's $1 million each.
Right.
You'd sell a
But if
bunch of
it's
it for
like-
$100 each.
But if it's like a widespread disease that is like high rate of death,
Right.
you're going to sell a lot of it.
Right. Well, like that again raises the question: as if these pharmaceutical companies have these patents on how marijuana could be used to cure certain diseases, why don't they release it? Why is marijuana still like illegal to be used in some states or some areas?
I still-
Again, I'm not a marijuana user at all, but it's like
Disclaimer.
you have that like
Here's-
disconnect. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Here's my conspiracy theory behind that. Right.
Here we go.
Illuminati, right? So Illuminati, right? The reason why they do a bunch of shit is to keep The population control.
You're all about population control, aren't you?
Dude, yeah.
You always talk about
I really,
that.
really am. And it's fucked up because like I don't agree with it, but I do agree with it, and like I'm just like, what the fuck? But yeah, like I'm pretty sure again they want to keep people sick.
Right.
People have to die. Like it's too easy to live nowadays.
You don't think natural disasters are enough?
Nah. Dude, we bang like bunnies.
Well, nowadays, do we? They say like millennials, they're
true.
like, reproduction rate is way low.
We said that on the podcast.
Yeah, I learned that. But speaking of like natural disasters and stuff like that, I hear you can control hurricanes. And I actually heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's like, I think it's the same episode with Alex Jones and all that. It's like you infuse cold air around where the hurricane's going to be because the hurricane gains power off of warm water.
And it'll move it away.
Right. Like you can control the path of a hurricane. And like you've seen a lot of hurricanes nowadays always continuously hitting like, the southeast United States.
How realistic is that? You throw some like ice cubes at it or what? Like, how do you
Take this.
Yeah.
Like you had this huge plane and you had these things called chemtrails just drop a bunch of cold water down.
we get all like
We made a circle. We have made a circle.
But like if you kind of look at it, and this is I'm just creating this conspiracy theory right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first here.
Well, you hear it first right here on the Up Life podcast. Like whenever these hurricanes hit like the Gulf of Mexico, and we have a lot of offshore drilling there, with all these hurricanes kind of hitting that area, and it's jacking up oil prices. Is that on purpose?
Dude, that could definitely well be on purpose.
I'm gonna be no. That's too that's just me. That's too extensive.
I'm saying yes, dude. Yep.
That's kind of the basis of a lot of conspiracy theories. Do we do one thing to provoke another thing?
And that's all conspiracy theory is.
Yeah.
It's you're trying to find a reasonable explanation for why something is.
Reasonable is the key word.
Big time. Big time. Like, I don't know. I just heard you could control like a path of a hurricane just by infusing a colder environment that it'll steer away from. And
Why haven't we tried it?
I heard Bill Gates is kind of fronting the money for like programs like this.
It's true about provoking people. What I usually end up doing is when I have dirty dishes, I'll just throw them in the sink.
Right.
And I keep adding more and more into it, and then I'll provoke my roommates to start cleaning it up.
The dish fairy just comes.
The dish fairy.
Waves her wand.
Provoking is a real thing.
It's not funny.
Sorry. Have you guys heard about the child actors?
What?
The child actors.
Don't miss a moment.
Okay, so it's very unfortunate that what happened at the high school shooting. What was that?
Dude, there's been so many. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Today there was one.
Yeah.
There was a shooting today. That was at the newspaper, but there's a
Charlie?
God, it was the last one. I apologize for.
The Texas one?
I think so.
Anyways.
Like not the Florida one?
It might be the Florida one.
So many.
It's
That's kind of sad.
it is sad that now I can't even think about it because
Which month did it take place in?
I know, huh?
I mean, you guys are naming like 5 states.
Dude, there's so many that are supposedly linked to
There he is.
pharmaceuticals.
It was the Douglas High School shooting. The Douglas High School shooting. And then that's when a lot of the kids from the high school went up and tried to start speaking like, hey, like, just they started speaking about gun control and stuff like that. The other side were arguing that these are called child actors or child emergency actors or child.
I know what you're talking about.
What was that guy's name that was really famous after that shooting?
Oh, the skinny kid?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Dude,
I'll
I dislike him so much, I don't remember his name.
He was pretty annoying, but
there's a lot of people are saying now that there's these child not horror drama. No, I can't think of the term that they're using, but child.
basically they're
Tragic.
like hired to
Tragedy
speak out on these
actors
things.
or like...
Yeah.
Like, I'll bring up maybe another conspiracy theory that I'm not really like too believing of. The Sandy Hook. Have you heard about that shooting? It was at elementary school. I think it was up in maybe Connecticut or something.
Yes.
That was a sad one.
I think I know which
all
one
of them
you're
are
talking
sad.
about.
That
I
was
think I
like-
know what conspiracy theory you're talking
right.
about.
That was like the first one
Right.
of like this generation, I would say.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so they were saying that this was just like a ploy to kind of like go against like guns and stuff like that, get against the Second Amendment in a way that they said a bunch of little children were killed in this elementary school, and they're like, where are their bodies and stuff like that. And then like their parents were these paid actors that they're happy 1 minute, and then when they go on camera, it's like all tragic and stuff like that. That's just one conspiracy theory, that this one shooting was set up by maybe the government and some, I don't know.
Wow,
It just
yeah.
puts like a negative shadow over, the Second Amendment and stuff like that.
Chris, do you have HBO Go?
No,
You don't?
I wish I did.
I mean, like, you like Game of Thrones.
I
right?
love Game of Thrones. I wish I had HBO Go for that.
Oh, dude, have you been watching Westworld? That thing is so
It's
sweet.
on HBO Go.
It's dude,
Fuck.
Doesn't have it.
How
dude.
about Silicon Valley?
No, I
That's
need
a
to
really
get
good
it.
show. Yeah. So, anyways, we have these affiliate links for Amazon, and you click on them. They're on the Facebook page. They're pinned on the top.
Okay.
And there's Kindle. There's Amazon Prime. There's HBO Go. And if you sign up through our link, we get a kickback. We get like a few bucks for it, and you get a free trial. So it's like, I think HBO Go is 7 days. Amazon Prime is 30 days. Kindle's 30 days. So if you're like ebooks or listening to books in the car, sign up for it.
Nice.
It's
dude.
free for you. It's free for us.
I will definitely check that out.
All right.
Where do you find this link at?
Facebook. The pinned posts on our Facebook page.
Boom.
Facebook.
Hashtag
Facebook.
Yep Life Podcast.
Okay, so we're talking about Sandy Hook, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was like a lady that was filmed crying at Sandy Hook. And I think most people have seen this. And then I forgot what tragedy happened next. She was also there.
What?
Was it the one where like the husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend went and shot up something?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
It might have been. And there's somebody else crying outside. Same exact lady.
Nuts.
So tragedy actors, again, conspiracy theory.
People are saying that
Could
like
be out there.
they have like fake people that are injured laying on the ground and like ambulances and stretchers for fake stuff. Like
That's what was heard about the Boston. That
Oh,
crowd.
the
bombing?
marathon?
yeah, the
the marathon bombing.
Yeah, there's people saying that there's actors.
Like
with it.
why do we go to such great lengths to fake
it's-
something?
Well, if you look at it, these are news broadcasts. Like,
Oh, so you think the news companies are doing it for?
well, not
Viewership,
the new, like
or-
you know who George Soros is. He's like the
No.
majority owner of all this media stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
So Disney?
yes, he is.
Is
Mickey
that what
Mouse.
it is? Really?
No,
Oh,
no.
I was like,
I'm
wait,
sure
what?
Disney owns a lot of stuff. but-
Like E
Oh
ESPN?
my God! Disney just bought Fox. Jeff, whatever. Who guys?
Bezos?
Yeah, he has Washington Post. They
Right.
own the news.
right.
Does that mean they own? I'm just having a realization right now.
Own us.
But I don't know. Like George Soros is this big guy who owns a lot of the media, and they kind of they control what you see on television, and with these tragedy actors or whatever, it's just like this ploy that they put their sobbing story on TV, and people just feel for them. And I don't know, maybe it's rehearsed, and there's like a reason for this. There's like some agenda that they're trying to do.
Who knows?
You know?
Yeah. Who knows what the ultimate agenda is?
Most of these conspiracy theories are too deep for me to even
Yeah.
try to comprehend.
Yeah.
I do got one more I want to bring up.
Okay.
Do it.
So, what do you guys think? The Earth is flat?
I feel like this is a millennial like joke. It has
It's gotta be.
It has to be, right? Like internet trolls just pretending to think that the Earth is flat.
I don't know, man. There's a guy who wanted to build his own rocket to go check it out.
He did. I think he actually launched
Yeah,
it.
I
He
recently.
want
did.
him to do it.
He did do it. I think he had a rocket failure.
I thought he got stopped on the second try though by like the government. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Ooh.
Government, dude. The government
dude.
stopped him.
Well, as four guys that have engineering backgrounds, Earth is flat. Does
laughing
anyone
at?
agree? Does anyone agree?
no.
Okay,
No.
okay. I just want to make sure.
Like
Uh-oh.
basic science proves it wrong.
Yeah, right. It's just like there's just no way.
Right.
Remember when people thought that the Earth was in the middle of the solar system?
Yes.
Is it?
You remember? That was like a long time ago.
It was probably
1500s.
1363. I think that's what was going on.
We had beer before we knew
Yeah.
the sun was in the middle of the solar system.
Yeah, that I always find the flat Earth one really funny. There's just
Like I want to try to side with them and see what they're thinking, but I can't even think of one reason why.
There's nothing. There's so many calculations they have to do for the curvature of the Earth
Yeah. Right.
with a bunch of shit.
Like engineering, there are literally calculations to convert from like when you survey things from like satellites or GPS to convert from grid to ground. Like there's a conversion factor for the curvature of the Earth because you're surveying things on a flat plane. And then when you convert it into like a file that is usable, you have to use this like scale factor to convert it to the conversion of the Earth. And it's a scale factor that's like 1.0000006 and some decimal, like some other numbers. But it's infinitesimally small, but it doesn't work if you don't use it.
Yeah.
I got that question wrong on my test recently.
Dude. I meant to ask you, how did that
What
go?
was the question?
I'm just kidding. I don't recall, but I remember seeing about GPS, and there's something about translating that into
It's grid to ground.
Dude, so do flat earthers believe that Greenland is ginormous? Because like when you look at it on a map, it's so huge.
Right.
But that's for what you're
Stretched.
kind of saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that, that's a good question.
You know?
The fact that airplanes, like the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, right? When you fly on an airplane, they fly in a curve going from north to like south or like north to, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the shortest distance along a curvature of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You think they just do that for fun? Like what?
Maybe they're like, can you prove that to someone?
I mean, the flight tracker on my phone says.
Can you trust that? I don't know. Devil's advocate. but-
aren't boats the same knots or no?
Yeah, I think a nautical mile does take into account curvature.
Yeah. I just think a lot of people don't like live in calculation world.
Yeah, like a lot of, I mean, all the physics, all of our physics formulas. It's just like it's how
It's in there.
Well, it's how you guys think. You guys are obviously educated, so you know.
So are you,
No.
Mr.
like,
Mr. Masters?
This guy's got 2 pieces of paper.
Yeah, this guy over here has got 2 pieces of paper in engineering.
Hey now.
You're an all-star.
But there's just people sitting at home, and this is what they think of, and they believe it.
Yeah.
Do you imagine if like tomorrow they prove that they're we're just like, fuck.
We're gonna have to record this episode like, oh shit.
Oh man.
Dude, we look stupid.
That'd be hilarious.
It's like they landed on the moon, right?
Dun dun dun.
Did they?
And they saw the Earth was round.
I mean,
There's
Well,
pictures
first
of it.
was the moon landing even real?
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I don't know, dude.
The shadows were off, bro. The shadows were off.
The flag isn't moving.
Flag ain't moving. They use the same footage and different, takes and stuff like that. Do you guys believe it?
That it's fake or real?
Do you believe we landed on the moon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my theory. I could have it. Okay. We did land on the moon, but it might have not been that first time.
Ooh.
Do you think some people died first to get there?
Yeah. I think some people died for sure. I think because there's a race to get to the moon. And whoever won that, there's like a lot of things behind that.
Right.
I think we could have faked the first moon landing. Eventually we got out there.
I think it was real.
I have a question. Why did we stop doing moon missions?
That's
I mean,
a
they're kind of
one
useless, but I don't
Money.
know. Yeah,
Like government funding,
what's the
I'm
point?
sure.
What's the point of doing more?
The cheese.
The cheese,
Studies.
the moon cheese. We can just send the fucking. I want to say drones, but
Robot.
yeah, what do they
So
call
are
them?
you saying like what was our purpose to even going to the moon?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
And also, like, why did we stop? Because we tried it a couple times, right? We did it a few times,
Right. Like there's so many Apollo missions.
Right.
But from the movie Interstellar, we've obviously had that space race to go to the moon to bankrupt, Soviet Russia. That's what they say. When they banned all books or something, I don't know. But like I could see the truth in that is, yeah, you have the space race with another superpower during a time that you're really competitive with. Maybe that's a possibility. Who knows? But I honestly think, yeah, we probably did it. It's not so far fetched that we went to the moon.
It's not that far.
Yeah.
Hell, like every planet side by side can fit between the Earth and the moon. But if you think about it's rocket science. Maybe this is like the easiest part of rocket science. You launch us up out of our atmosphere, straight shot to the moon.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing in between us and the moon.
Well,
Like,
we're moving and the
yeah,
moon is moving. So
It's not necessarily a straight shot.
I thought it was flat.
Mistaken, guys.
dude, so is the is the Earth just flying through space like a fucking pizza, like spinning?
Oh yeah, dude.
When the moon hits your eyes like...
I don't know. Okay. I'm sure the journey is
Pizza pie.
hard, but it's something that you
Is
can
it long?
easily calculate to fly to.
Yeah.
I like to believe that we went to the moon.
You wouldn't even believe.
Dang, dude.
I'm gonna stick with that. Yeah.
Good answer.
So there's some doubt in your mind.
Dude, of course. Because, like, have I been to the moon? No. Have I seen someone go to the moon in my lifetime? No. I don't know. We have much better technology. They say the technology they had that
Well-
projected them to go to the moon. My phone is 1,000 times more advanced than
Yeah.
Your calculator.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, how did they do that with that? You know?
Abacus.
hard work and grit.
I mean, with that theory, has any rocket launched? Because you've never seen one launch.
I've seen
Ooh.
rockets
Personally?
launch.
In
Personally,
person.
no, not in person.
I think I've seen one.
Does bottle rocket
I
count?
trust in Elon Musk. Okay, I saw that thing go to the Mars.
You don't think he's a robot?
And Elon, we
I
trust.
know Zuckerberg's a robot or a reptile. I
Did
don't
you
know.
see Elon, his interview? I forgot who it was, but the guy was like saying that all the guys that the astronauts and the people who landed on the moon were like judging Elon because he's like trying to privatize space travel. And he started like crying in this interview.
It hits you hard.
Yeah, it's like super emotional.
What?
Because he's like, this is like my pride and joy, and these people are like harassing me because I'm trying to. The government won't do anything, so he's doing it himself.
Right.
And like Buzz Aldrin and like those guys are like, oh, you're ruining space travel because it's privatized and you're doing it for money, and they're just bashing Elon. And he was like, he almost started crying. He's like tearing
Who,
up.
sir, Elon?
Yeah,
Elon,
in this
dude.
like TV
Don't
interview.
make that guy cry.
He
So he's not a robot, is what I was getting at.
Oh, I see. Well, they could have some artificial tear duct.
True.
Algorithms.
yeah. I really respected him when he was like he was like, they're still my heroes.
Yeah, he's like,
and like you like teared up.
yeah. And he's like has that kind of language barrier, so it's like kind of weird, but like he's
I don't know.
crying all.
I don't want to get all political, but like, what government-run thing really was so successful? Like, if we're gonna have government-run like NASA,
the military.
okay, yeah. Okay. Hey, we could have our own militia.
Throw enough money at anything, and
Exactly.
it
I
works,
guess
right?
we have the
Space Force.
We have the brain
Space
power
Force.
and manpower here in the United States that we could get anything done.
Yeah.
But like, you look at the United States Postal Service, UPS, FedEx, blow them out of the water. What my argument is, if you privatize something and have like a company corporate run, it'll probably run better. So like, I'm all for Elon privatizing it, making a profit off of it. Because what is he gonna do? He's going to streamline, space travel.
Let's be honest. Government workers are not the hardest workers.
Right.
Have you ever been to a DMV?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because there's no incentive for them to be successful.
They don't get raises. They don't get promotions.
Right. There has to be that incentive.
Man, I'm scared.
Money rules everything.
Yeah, I'm scared of either way though. Like really, like one person privatizing shit and just becoming so powerful that now he's a Rothschild, or like
Could be.
even the government.
But even with
Either
Elon
way.
Musk doing, SpaceX, look who's now getting into the game.
Virgin.
That guy, Jeff Bezos.
yeah.
Is getting
Oh, the guy
into
from
it too.
Virgin. Okay.
No,
So it's like-
Jeff Bezos is not Virgin. That's
No, yeah,
No.
I'm talking both of them.
Oh, both of them. Okay.
What was that guy's name? Like Blaine?
I don't remember.
Some
For-
British guy.
What was the blue something?
Blue Orbit? No.
The other aircraft or
The one that
spacecraft?
goes out into space and comes back
I think
in?
so.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't fucking know the name. Okay, keep going though.
But if there's like a need or a want of going into space, and I'm sure there's a bunch of millionaires that would love to do the space travel, they're going to make it work for them.
Let's tie this back into conspiracies. Do you think space is like
Not there.
is as like massive as we say it is, or even like as real as we say it is?
Dude.
I want to believe, yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to believe and say yes.
Do you want to? Like, why?
I
Because it makes you feel small?
want to say yes. It is big.
Okay. I don't know.
I like to think about infinite possibilities.
I like the theory that it's just reoccurring. Like, I forgot what the name was, but it's like when you look into an atom and you keep zooming in or zooming out, it all just duplicates itself.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
No?
No.
I haven't heard
Like
that
there's
one
like an
either.
atom inside of an atom. Like you could keep going.
Yeah, you could just keep fucking going and it just looks all the same.
Right.
That's what
Like there's no end.
So that's how you think of the universe?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. Like I think of it not as big as maybe what scientists deem it to be. I just hate when they say, "Oh, we found this planet a billion light years away. It's totally made of diamonds." How do you know this? You don't even know what the moon is made of.
Yeah. That is true.
I just hate those.
It's the type of light reflection it gives off.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, oh, there's
It
a
shines
star.
bright.
There's a star 700 million light years away, and we know how many planets are around it because, like, when our satellite flickers just an incy bit, we could tell the size of that planet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe you're just ignorant.
I very well could be, but that's I think very far fetched.
Yeah.
Like, can they ever prove that to me? No.
Probably.
I don't know. I just hate when they deem these accusations as fact.
Well, I think a lot of astrophysics is theory and hypotheses.
Yeah.
I don't know how much certainty there is. I know like gravity has been pretty proven, but it's still
It's a weird.
a theory.
It's still
what it is.
debated.
Yeah, it's still not proven.
Right.
Like, why are we sticking to the floor right now? Nobody can really tell you why, other than this thing called gravity. But
Like, you know the idea of gravity, but like
what is it?
Is it?
It's a magical force. It
Right.
literally is like a magical force.
Yeah. I don't know. When they
So-
say like they see something so far away,
Mm-hmm.
like wouldn't you think that the light that's given off of this source that we're seeing may have been influenced by some
It's so
gravitational
old
force?
and
right.
yeah,
So I think like their numbers could be skewed or something like that.
right.
I don't know. I just again they just make some accusations. I'm like, okay,
Chris gets triggered.
trigger,
know.
dude.
Dude, didn't you tell me a story or something?
Probably
like,
not.
Oh, god dang it.
Just go ahead.
I don't know. Like you said, like if you look back, if you send something to the sun, come
Oh.
back, you'll see dinosaurs and some shit.
Oh,
It's-
Relativity or
It's okay. So when you look at the stars,
the faster you're traveling, the slower time.
no. So if something is 80 million light years away,
Oh, you're seeing the light from.
you're seeing the light 80 million years old.
Ah,
So if
right.
an alien
okay.
planet is 80 million light years away and they have a telescope that can see us like super close,
Yeah.
they won't see us now. They'll see the Earth 80 million years ago.
Gotcha.
Because light takes time to travel.
Yeah,
So
that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
yeah.
I thought you were saying that like if you took a spaceship and traveled at light speed for a long time and came back at some time interval, you would be younger than everyone on Earth.
yes.
Time dilation.
Yeah.
That's like that's the whole interstellar thing.
Yeah, that's
It's pretty much the whole interstellar.
it's
thing.
relativity.
Can you explain that though in words?
I
How
can't.
that works?
In words.
Joey.
It's relativity. I don't know.
I can't think of a way to put it in words.
Yeah.
Like why when you're traveling so much faster, time slows down for you,
Mm-hmm.
but not for people. And what is time?
Time is made up.
It is made up.
I remember I was talking to Ruben about this. What is a second? How did they come up
Oh,
with
yeah.
the unit of time of a second?
It's just the division of us going around the sun.
But who decided that it's going to be broken up like 60 seconds a minute, 60 minutes an hour, 24 hours a day?
Yeah. Who knows?
you could have broken
dude?
up different ways.
Right.
There's so
It could have been 100.
Yeah.
It could have been
But like
10.
what is a second? Like one. But like why? I don't know.
We just got
It's a reference. That's all it is.
we got so deep right now.
It's an artificial thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no rhyme or reason. It's just that's what it
I don't think we're conspiracy theorying anymore.
No, I think
We're just,
we're just.
Why don't we have a space episode?
dude, that would be Joey's favorite episode of all
Yeah.
time.
Space episode. That's a good one.
We could have one.
We'll add that to the list.
On the topic of space, have you heard what Buzz Aldrin says about one of the moons of Mars?
What?
Has this monolith on it, like this big tower.
Of what?
Just he thinks it's like not man-made, but like something made that is just a big tower on.
He's the only guy that thinks this.
Right. Oh no,
Buzz
he
Aldrin?
says
Yeah.
he knows of its there, like of its existence.
He saw it from the moon or what?
Exactly. Right. I don't know.
He busts out his binoculars.
I think he might be crazy.
Got like a telescope, just like.
Dude, that guy's old. Let's be honest.
He is old, but
Dude, going to space does do something to you though.
yeah, it's
That's Joey's dream.
Someday.
dude. Maybe Elon Musk will make it happen.
One more thing for everyone, okay?
Okay.
Now, we've been on the topic of conspiracy theories, and then we got a little sidetracked about it kind of plays in because some of that stuff, we have some type of knowledge. We understand a little bit about some stuff.
They're not really conspiracies, but they're theories.
The theories, yeah. Well, conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. How does all this wrap up being a yuppie?
I would say, like, our generation questions everything.
Ooh, nice, Joey. That was a good
Damn.
one. I
With
like that.
Good one.
With so much information that we have and so many ways to make things skewed or fake or altered, you have to cliche, I know, you have to fact check everything. So a conspiracy theory is really just like us trying to figure out what's real. So us being a yuppie is like the fake news, the media spoon feeding us things. Is it real? Is it a conspiracy? That's all I gotta say.
That's a good one,
That
Joey.
was a good
I
one.
Yeah.
It's almost like
That was really good.
it's a fancy word for fact checking is what conspiracy theory is.
And like to going off of what you're saying is take everything that you're hearing with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's
You
a
know,
good one
like-
too. I like that.
Think for yourself.
Yeah. The internet allows you to research things. Don't think that what someone tells you is true. I was reading something on the internet. It was like, oh, you remember back in the day when your friend told you, oh, so-and-so broke his arm, or like there was a school shooting or something. You took their word for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had no way, like, you had to wait for the newspaper to come out the next day, or you had to wait for the news to come on at 6 p.m. on the dial channel that you had to turn. So now it's like, it's one, it's easy to lie, and two, it's easy to find out the truth.
That's good. I like that. Steven, you got any? Those are
Those are really, really
yeah.
good.
That was off the handle too.
That was great.
I mean,
Acting.
You're a tragic child actor, or
Tragedy actor.
tragedy actor.
Is that what it was?
I think it was tragedy. Yeah.
something else that's yuppie about them.
This podcast is a tragedy.
Yeah.
God.
We lost it at the end.
Another thing that's yuppie about conspiracy theories is that they're fun.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
it's-
They're just fun, man.
But why can't they be serious?
Oh, I mean, they can
That's
be.
what makes it even more fun, dude.
Right.
Yeah. It's fun to look into. You could do your own research. Yuppies love to do their own research. So
Can I give a little research story?
Shoot.
So I've rented a car a couple times, but I never did any research on it.
yeah.
And I love doing research. Usually it's just like, oh, we booked this trip. All right, here's a rental car. So I did like my Reddit research because they have so much good information. People will give you info. And I was about to rent a car for 4 days at like $260 from LAX because it's so convenient at the airport. They're open 24 hours. It's expensive at the airport, to renting a car for $62 for the 4 days just by doing some research.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh.
At Avis, it's like
Yeah.
it's a kind of renowned rental company. But yeah,
That's crazy. I'm going to call you next time. When you're
right.
it is a cool website that I found.
Okay.
We can talk about this another time.
All right. Ruben,
what's up?
finishing thoughts.
Finishing thoughts. This was fun.
9/11 was an inside job. JFK assassination was planned.
Yep.
I agree with
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
That would have been a good one for you guys.
Oh,
Hey, we'll have another
engineering
episode
terms,
of conspiracy theories.
I agree with Joey and Chris. You guys, I that's really a good statement. You know, grain of salt. Do your own research, and Steven too.
Thanks,
This
dude. I
was
felt a
fun.
little left out.
This was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I do agree with my hosts and guest hosts. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening. For anyone that's interested in our getting HBO Go, Joey, if you can let them know again.
The Amazon affiliate links, Facebook pinned post. Check out our Facebook page.
Yo, we just got an Instagram, and we're gonna start posting shit. Start following us.
Oh, dude, let's get a picture of the new studio.
Yeah, we should. Let's do that.
Yeah.
With that, Steven,
We out.
thanks for tuning in to the Yup Life.
If you enjoyed it, leave us a rating and a review on iTunes, or just follow us at the Up Life Podcast.
We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play Music.
Stay yuppie.